What if one of the healthiest foods sitting in your refrigerator right now could quietly turn into one of the riskiest things you eat? Not because of the egg itself, but because of one simple habit almost everyone has. A habit so common, so ordinary, that you probably don't even think twice about it. Stick with me for the next few minutes because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what that mistake is, why it matters more after 60 than at any other point in your life, and exactly how to fix it starting with your very next breakfast. I'm Alan Mercer, an AI-generated educational presenter created to explain evidence-informed health information in a simple and accessible way. I'm not a real physician, and this content is for educational purposes only. Let's start with something important. Eggs are, by almost every measure nutrition scientists use, one of the most complete foods available to us. They're not the enemy here. In fact, for adults over 60, eggs can be one of the smartest things on your plate. Think about protein first. As we age, our bodies become less efficient at using protein to maintain muscle. This is sometimes called anabolic resistance, and it's one of the quiet reasons so many older adults lose strength over time. A single egg delivers about 6 grams of high-quality, complete protein containing all the essential amino acids your body needs to preserve muscle and stay strong and independent. Then there's choline, a nutrient most Americans don't get nearly enough of. Choline supports brain health, memory, and the structure of every cell membrane in your body. Eggs are one of the richest natural sources of it. Eggs also provide vitamin B12, a nutrient that becomes harder for the body to absorb as we get older, especially for anyone taking certain common medications. B12 supports nerve function and healthy red blood cells, and a deficiency can sometimes be mistaken for normal aging when it's actually something fixable. There's vitamin D too, important for bone strength and immune health, along with lutein and zeaxanthin, 2 nutrients specifically tied to eye health and protecting against age-related vision decline. So here's the first thing I want you to walk away with today. The egg isn't the problem. It never was. What can turn this nutritional powerhouse into something risky isn't the food itself. It's what we do with it before it ever reaches our plate. Let's talk about that mistake now and the handful of related habits that go along with it, because food safety experts have identified these as some of the most common ways eggs go from healthy to harmful. The first and most common mistake is eating eggs that are no longer fresh or that show signs of spoilage without realizing it. Many people go by the expiration date alone and forget that once an egg is cracked, it starts to change immediately. A spoiled egg can carry bacteria like salmonella, which can cause serious food poisoning, especially in older adults whose immune systems may respond more slowly to infection. The second mistake is improper refrigeration. Eggs need to be stored at a consistent cold temperature, ideally at or below 40 degrees Fahrenheit. When eggs sit out on the counter, even for what feels like a short time, or when they're stored in a refrigerator that isn't cold enough, bacteria can begin multiplying far faster than most people realize. This connects directly to the third mistake, which is leaving cooked eggs out at room temperature for too long. Many people cook a batch of scrambled eggs or hard-boiled eggs and let them sit out while getting ready for the day. Food safety guidelines generally recommend not leaving cooked eggs at room temperature for more than about 2 hours. Preparation matters, storage matters. The fourth mistake is cross-contamination in the kitchen. This happens when raw egg touches a surface, a utensil, or another food, and that bacteria spreads without anyone realizing it. Something as simple as using the same cutting board for raw eggs and then for a salad without washing it in between can create a real risk. The fifth mistake is eating raw or undercooked eggs. This has become more common with certain trends, like adding raw eggs to smoothies or protein shakes for a supposed nutritional boost. But raw eggs carry a meaningfully higher risk of salmonella contamination than fully cooked eggs. Cooking eggs until both the yolk and white are firm significantly reduces this risk. The sixth mistake is buying or using cracked eggs. A crack in the shell creates a direct pathway for bacteria to enter the egg. Even a small hairline crack you might not notice at the store can be enough. The seventh mistake, and this one surprises people, is storing eggs in the refrigerator door. Many refrigerators come with an egg tray built right into the door, so it feels like the obvious place to put them. But the door is actually the warmest part of the refrigerator because it's exposed to outside air every time you open it. Food safety matters, and that includes where inside the fridge you're placing things. The eighth mistake is a dietary pattern issue rather than a food safety issue. It's regularly pairing eggs with heavily processed meats like bacon and sausage and adding excess salt on top. For adults managing blood pressure or cardiovascular health, this combination, repeated daily, can matter more than the eggs themselves. The overall dietary pattern matters just as much as any single food. The ninth mistake is deep frying eggs regularly or cooking them in excessive amounts of butter or oil day after day. Occasional indulgence isn't the concern. It's the daily habit that can add unnecessary saturated fat to your diet over time. And the 10th mistake is simply ignoring freshness and expiration guidance altogether, combined with poor kitchen hygiene, like not washing hands before and after handling raw eggs. These habits, on their own, might seem minor. Together, they add up. Now let's clear up some myths, because there's a lot of outdated and confusing information about eggs still floating around. Myth 1. Eggs are bad for your cholesterol and your heart. For years, this was widely believed, and older guidelines reflected it. But more recent research has shown that for most healthy people, dietary cholesterol from eggs has a much smaller effect on blood cholesterol than scientists once thought. For most adults, moderate egg consumption fits comfortably within a heart-healthy diet. That said, anyone with specific cardiovascular conditions should always follow their own physician's personalized guidance. Myth 2. Brown eggs are healthier than white eggs. This one is simply about the breed of hen, not nutrition. Brown and white eggs are nutritionally equivalent. Myth 3. Seniors shouldn't eat eggs at all. This isn't supported by current evidence. In fact, given the protein, B12, and choline content, eggs can be particularly valuable for adults over 60 as long as they're prepared safely. Myth 4. Raw eggs are healthier than cooked eggs. Cooking doesn't strip away meaningful nutrition here, and it dramatically reduces the risk of foodborne illness. Cooked is the safer choice. Myth 5. More eggs are always better. Like most foods, eggs fit best as part of a varied, balanced diet, rather than being eaten in excessive quantities every single day without variety. Let me tell you about 3 people. These stories are fictional, created to illustrate common situations, but they reflect patterns many people can relate to. Robert is 72 and lives alone. He liked keeping a carton of hard-boiled eggs on the kitchen counter for easy snacking throughout the day. He didn't realize that once eggs are cooked, they need to go back in the refrigerator, not sit out for hours. After learning about safe storage windows, Robert switched to keeping his boiled eggs refrigerated and only taking out what he'd eat within a couple of hours. Margaret is 68 and has always stored her eggs in the door of her refrigerator, just like the built-in tray suggested. When she learned that the door is actually the warmest section of the fridge, she moved her eggs to a shelf further back, where the temperature stays more consistent. James is 65 and enjoyed adding a raw egg to his morning protein shake, believing it gave him an extra nutritional edge. After learning about the salmonella risk associated with raw eggs, he switched to using a fully cooked cooled egg instead, blending it into his shake without sacrificing the protein boost he was after. None of these are dramatic stories. That's actually the point. These are small, everyday adjustments, and they matter. Beyond eggs specifically, a few broader lifestyle habits support overall health as we age. Eating balanced meals that include vegetables, whole grains, and lean protein sources helps support steady energy and long-term health. Staying physically active, even with regular walking, supports muscle strength, balance, and cardiovascular health. Staying hydrated throughout the day supports digestion, kidney function, and overall energy. And practicing safe food handling across your entire kitchen, not just with eggs, including washing hands, cleaning surfaces, and keeping your refrigerator at a safe temperature, protects you from a wide range of foodborne risks. Now, it's important to know when something requires more than a lifestyle adjustment and needs immediate medical attention. If you or someone you know experiences symptoms of severe food poisoning, such as bloody diarrhea, a high fever, persistent vomiting that won't stop, signs of severe dehydration, confusion, difficulty breathing, or chest pain, these require immediate medical care. Confusion, difficulty breathing, and chest pain can also be signs of a stroke or another serious medical emergency. So, if you notice sudden weakness, slurred speech, or facial drooping alongside any of these symptoms, seek emergency medical attention right away. So let's bring this all together. Eggs are not poison. They're one of the most nutrient-dense, accessible foods available, offering high-quality protein, choline, B12, vitamin D, and nutrients that support your eyes and your brain. What matters is how you store them, how you cook them, how long you leave them out, and the habits that surround them in your kitchen. Keep them cold, keep them refrigerated away from the door, cook them fully, watch for cracks, and be mindful of what you're eating alongside them. I'd love to know, how do you usually cook your eggs? Scrambled, boiled, over easy? Let me know in the comments below. And if you found this video helpful, please consider liking it, subscribing to the channel, and sharing it with someone who might need this information. Always consult your physician or another qualified healthcare professional before making decisions about your health.